Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. The then Reserve Bank Governor Dr. Urjit Patel resigned sometime in December 2018. He left before the end of his term, and in the history of Reserve Bank, he was the second governor to have done that. He left in the backdrop of increasing tension and friction between the Reserve Bank and the Government of India. Too many points of friction had built up over a period of time. The latest one being the speech of his deputy Dr. Viral Acharya at the Forum of Free Enterprise, where Dr. Acharya warned the government that in case the government continues to erode the autonomy of the RBI, then the government will incur the wrath of the markets. That got him a very feisty and unbecoming tweet from the then Finance Secretary, Mr. S.C. Garg. But according to us, the die had been cast. Dr. Urjit Patel's resignation did not come as a surprise to us. There were too many points lurking in the background. The government was eyeing the surplus reserves of the Reserve Bank, as it used to call it. It had sent a Section 7 notice to the RBI, the first time ever in the history of RBI, trying to direct the RBI on policy making. It was seeking the easing of the PCA norms so that credit flow improves to the industry as it thought, and certain NBFC refinancing issues had become a bone of contention between the RBI and the Government of India. Dr. Patel left in a very dignified and decorous manner. He did not cite any reason except saying that he has left the Reserve Bank for personal reasons. He left in dignity, he left in secrecy. 6 months later, his deputy Dr. Viral Acharya also resigned in June 2019. Dr. Acharya resigned 6 months before the end of his tenure. He too did not complete his tenure. And the fact is that after the exit of Dr. Patel, to all of us it was imminent that Dr. Acharya is going to resign. To us, resigning in June 2019, 6 months later, actually came a little late in the day. He, of course, had a lot of friction points with the government, but the immediate trigger that he cited, or which it was assumed became the point of his leaving the Reserve Bank, was differences of opinion with the RBI in terms of monetary policy matters and in terms of the Reserve Bank's assessment of the fiscal deficit of the Government of India. Dr. Viral Acharya left the RBI to go back to his teaching assignments at Stern. He also did not cite any reason for us to understand very explicitly the reasons why he exited, but implicitly it was all known. Both Dr. Patel and Dr. Acharya, as we said, left without revealing the actual reasons. They left in a stately, decorous and dignified manner in order to avoid any political controversy. They chose not to lower the dignity of the RBI when they left, but the secret behind their exits is certainly now out in the open because of books written by Dr. Acharya and by Dr. Patel, both of which have been released very recently. Dr. Patel, in a very reserved manner, states why he left the Reserve Bank. He, of course, does not say specifically, but he mentions the point where the government and the RBI started going on different paths. He says that the RBI and the government were on the same page until the RBI issued the 12th February 2018 circular. This was a circular meant to ensure that NPAs are no longer hidden by banks and resolution takes place. And in this circular, the Reserve Bank said that in case there is any default in repayment of a loan by a borrower, then from the very next day, the borrower must be tagged as a defaulter, and within 30 days, the entire process must be resolved. That was actually a draconian circular from the angle of the industry. It was not easy to comply with. But the Reserve Bank was hell-bent on preventing banks and their borrowers from hiding rotten assets, as we would say, the NPAs that we were building up. There was a hue and cry. The industry went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court finally struck down that particular circular. But with this circular, so far while the government and RBI were on the same side of the table, they were now no longer so. Dr. Patel says that by the middle of 2019, it was very clear that the government has lost its enthusiasm in the matter of controlling NPAs, recognizing NPAs and taking action against them. And the weakening of the IBC had started. The Reserve Bank governor realized that political support was not coming to the RBI in its battle against NPAs, and he thus chose to resign. That was the reason mentioned by Dr. Patel, again in a very couched and not very direct manner in his recent book. Thus, even though it has been almost 2 years since Dr. Patel left the Reserve Bank of India, in his recent book, he still doesn't really quite come out completely in the open to tell us what were the true and total reasons that he left the Reserve Bank of India in a hurried manner. On the other hand, his former deputy Dr. Viral Acharya is far more candid and far more forthright. His recent book, which is a collection of his essays, writings, speeches, etc. when he was the deputy governor of RBI, gives a very direct account of why did he leave the Reserve Bank of India, and also that explains why did Dr. Urjit Patel leave the RBI in a hurried manner. Dr. Acharya says that the Reserve Bank autonomy was constantly being undermined. That was not acceptable, it should not be accepted. He also said that the government was trying to alter the governance structure of the Reserve Bank and erode its independence. He further said that the PCA norms and the strict curbs levied by the Reserve Bank of India on Sikh public sector banks were being sought to be diluted by the government so that those banks start lending again. In the prudent policy making of the RBI, this was certainly not acceptable. It needed to control the lending by those banks which were being nursed back to health. The excess reserves of the RBI, which were being constantly eyed by the government, and it wanted the RBI to transfer them to the treasury, was a huge bone of contention. And so was the Section 7 notice sent by the government to the RBI of India. It was unprecedented and it certainly did not go down very well. The government also wanted the RBI and banks to go easy on recovery from defaulters. It also wanted banks to have easier norms to lend further to defaulter borrowers, which again was not acceptable to the Reserve Bank, which was trying to clean up the entire financial and banking system, which was so ridden with NPAs. In other words, prudent norms of the RBI were being tried to be rolled back. The demands, according to Viral Acharya, were unreasonable and that was not acceptable. He states in his book that financial stability in the long run requires the country, the government to bear short-term pain. And it is very clear that this short-term pain which was being inflicted on the system because of prudent measure of the Reserve Bank was not acceptable to the government. These two eminent gentlemen, of course, left Reserve Bank of India and a change of guard took place. What is the larger picture that emerges out of this entire story? The first one, the government has been trying to erode the RBI autonomy and that must not be done. RBI's independence is a must for banking financial stability of the country and for its own growth. It is a statutory body. It has a mandate of being independent and autonomous, and that must be respected. We think that's the first issue that comes out of it. A mute Reserve Bank, a yes man Reserve Bank is not good for the system. We have seen that already happen. Between the mid 2000 to 2014, when banks went on the lending spree recklessly, the Reserve Bank was a mute spectator, and we have an NPA crisis created at that point of time which remains unresolved. We thus can't have a yes man in RBI. It will not do good for the country. The fact is that vested interests are bound to be at play all the time. It is the Reserve Bank, if it is strong enough, if its independence is maintained, is able to prevent those vested interests from damaging the system. This comes very clearly from the book of Dr. Acharya in particular. The fact of the matter is that after these two gentlemen left, the government was able to take away from the Reserve Bank a huge amount of money, 1,72,000 crores, by way of excess surplus as it is called. The PCA norms were diluted, the NPA norms were diluted, and NBFC refinancing, which was again a bone of contention, came back. The government achieved what it wanted, and that really proves what Dr. Viral Acharya says. The autonomy of the RBI got eroded. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
हमारे घरों में भी बच्चे होते हैं जो हमसे प्यार दुलार की आस करते हैं, हमारा भी जीवन साथी है जिसको हमारे ड्यूटी से घर आने का इंतजार होता है।
हमारे घर में भी एक बूढ़ी माँ है जिनके लिए आज भी हम ही आंखों के तारे हैं।
लेकिन हम हमारे घरों में नहीं हैं। आपकी सुरक्षा में कोई कसर न रहे, इसलिए हम अपने प्रियजनों से दूर हैं।
हम में से ही कुछ तो अब इतने दूर जा चुके हैं कि वो वापस अपने घरों को लौट भी नहीं पाएंगे।
हमें गर्व है कि हमारे कंधों पे मुंबई शहर के नागरिकों की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी है। हमारे जज्बे और बलिदान को व्यर्थ न जाने दे। इस संकट के समय में आप घर पे रहे, सुरक्षित रहे।
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.